hypersensitivity is like one of the main symptoms.
Yeah, I would feel so bad. It was just a whole thing of I just needed to know what's happening. I think you're welcome.
Be very proud.
Been good chat.
I am.
Thanks. The ADHD sort of, we're not experts by the way, Joe and I, but from our experiences and what I've learned going through my diagnosis of ADHD is the hypersensitivity is like one of the main symptoms.
Yeah.
I'm incredibly sensitive to like negative feedback from anyone, even if it's the most minor comment that someone will say. I'll think about that comment for about 3 days. I'll go home and I'll be like, oh, that person said that. And then it's just like...
Having a YouTube channel's a really bad
thing. Yeah. And having a podcast where people are commenting all the time is not great for it. But I've learned to sort of deal with that because I recognise it. Do you reckon that sort of like ADHD, autism spectrum, that could have been a link, I'm not sure, but been a link to your sort of anxiety and like the hypersensitivity to things?
Definitely, because, I mean, you know, coming into my room and seeing like some of my figures moved, I'd be like, who has been in my room? Like, what's happening? And I honestly, you know, causing my friends frustration and annoying them and upsetting them because I have these outbursts of anger where they've literally done the smallest thing wrong because I'm so short-tempered. I would feel so bad. It was just a whole thing of I just needed to know what's happening. I think that was sort of spiking my anxiety as well. But I've always been hypersensitive to noise and to textures and feels and stuff. So I have a lot of pet peeves. The biggest one, probably chewing noises.
I think everyone has that.
Yeah, but I'm so
people
bad.
People eating loud. I'm like that. I'm
really bad with it. And certain food textures, like if I bite into something and it's... Have you ever heard someone say, like, when you bite into chicken, it's too chickeny? No.
She won't eat crumpets because they got holes in. That's an example.
That's quite common.
Yeah.
That's quite common. So when people bite into chicken and it tastes too much like meat and then it kind of reminds you that an animal died, I'm like, ugh, can't eat that. Or I've bit into chicken before and it's been like this weird stringy hard texture. Sorry, it makes me sick thinking about it. I just can't do it.
Are these kind of things which were brought to your attention on the Anxend course where Gwen would help you and you'd start to realise these things? And you'd be like, okay, this is adding up. This is here. And Gwen's like, no, this is this.
Like I knew it beforehand. Like I understood like all these things that would get to me and it'd be like, to me it was like, well, that's stupid. Like just let it go. But doing Anxend, learning more about myself, which is weird because she taught me more about myself than I could. Yeah. But learning about myself and everything, it was like, okay, I see where this is coming from now.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Confirmation of it by someone who's an actual expert as well. In my opinion, was a big sense of relief.
Yeah.
When I went through my things, I was like, phew, you've actually confirmed that. That's
exactly.
Really...
It's like
go on.
Gwen made her realise what she was going through. It wasn't just something stupid. She explained it to you, didn't she? The reasoning behind it and everything.
Yeah, I mean, I told her everything that I'd been going through and that I had gone through. I mean, I'd been through a lot. It was last year that I started, about August.
Yeah.
I'd been through a lot earlier that year. Like, so much was going on for me and I was really unhealthy, and being able to talk about that with her and her actually being able to sort of pick at that and pull things out of it and explain it to me and get me to explain it myself to her was so great. It wasn't just like telling someone and getting nothing back.
What's your sort of plans moving forward now? Now you've got to grips with your anxiety and your mental health. What's the plans for both of you moving forward?
Well, I don't know. In general life, I'm going to uni.
Yeah.
I'm definitely very scared for that. But I honestly don't think I would be able to take this step if it wasn't for Anxend, if it wasn't for Gwen.
No.
So I think I would just be full of anxiety so much that I'd just not be able to do it. But now I'm actually going into a huge part of my life and I'm really, really excited.
You are still anxious about it as well.
Yeah, but that's just living on my own.
She does get upset every now and then, but there's no way she could have done this before.
You feel a big sense of pride and sort of peace of mind now as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want us to go.
Yeah.
So that's me being selfish. But
a large part of that is down to the worry you've had when she was so bad beforehand. It's the fear of not being away.
But I'm lucky she's only 40 minutes away.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's great.
yeah, if she said she was coming to London, no, no, I can't get to her in
Not
time.
yet.
But I know after the month she'll settle in, she'll have new friends, and I'll be able to relax. But yeah, it is a massive thing for me. But for the Anxend, she wouldn't even be doing it.
No.
And tell them what you've applied for, but unfortunately you didn't get.
Oh, yeah. So I applied for a summer program in Disney World, Florida next year.
Nice.
But I got rejected literally in the middle of London Underground today. But
Yeah.
not because of me, because I didn't know I have to actually complete a year of uni first.
Yeah.
So I'm
I
going to apply next year and actually, stand a chance.
But how
To
massive
get in.
is that?
Yeah.
Someone that doesn't even go shopping
Yeah,
to Liverpool
I'd
with your
be
mum
flying out
to
alone.
go into Florida for, 2-3 months?
3 months.
Probably not a bad thing that you already completed a year of uni before that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
probably the...
experience it,
Yeah.
like the.
Yeah.
But she got
But-
upset on the Underground. Then she read the email fully and it said it's because you haven't been to uni yet. And she's
And I was
fine.
like, oh, okay.
And now you're here doing this as well, and it's not even phased you remotely. Even
Exactly.
when we met you when you came,
Yeah.
that's massive.
6-7 months ago, one, she wouldn't have applied for it. But if she'd have got that email, she'd have been bawling her eyes out for
Not
hours
bad.
on end.
Yeah.
Nothing in that email would have made her feel better.
Yeah.
I'm just so proud
Yeah.
of her.
That's awesome. I wanted to ask you, Mum, quickly, the same question Tom asked Madison earlier. What have you learned about yourself from like a parental point of view from the whole process of Anxend?
Just to be more patient with her.
Yeah.
Like one of the things that we used to go mad was like constantly giving her lifts everywhere because like she did, what did you do? Jazz, ballet,
Jazz, ballet, tap, music
theatre,
theatre, singing lessons.
So we're working all day, then we've got to take her and wait for them, bring her home. And Karen just said to us, well, in September, she's going to uni. You're going to wish you could give her a lift somewhere. And it's just things like that. And yeah,
But-
like the bedroom situation, okay, we had a little conversation about it again earlier. But yeah.
But it's been worth it, though. It's not like I'm terrible at what I do. So,
No, you're amazing. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's just, I don't know. It must be different for other parents going through Anxend because maybe they haven't been through anxiety, but having been through it myself, I knew most of it anyway. But Karen has taught me a lot. And, she used to give us homework. What was that one we used to do where I said, you said or something? I can't remember what it was.
I have no idea.
It was something like, I'm not happy that you've done this.
Oh, yeah, that.
And then, but
And yeah,
and
be
it'd be like a conversation, but she wasn't allowed to talk for 5 minutes while I did my bit, and then it'd be the other way around.
Okay.
But it was just little things like that, wasn't it? Yeah. But
yeah.
That's
it was-
awesome.
And can I just say as well, doing Anxend has helped me not only be open, very open with you. I mean, you know everything now.
too much sometimes.
Sorry. But also open with my friends. Like the friend I was talking about earlier, she's always been there for me.
Yeah.
Thick and thin. She's my sister. I know we're not blood, but she may as well be. And then someone I've only just met in college a year ago, 2 years ago, I tell her everything too because I opened up to her and we bonded. Like we were so similar. And I honestly wouldn't be where I am without them either. I won't name names, but you know who you are.
Amazing.
We talk about this a lot, and I think what you'll find is when you do open up to more people, a lot of people are struggling with similar things and have gone through that path. And you'll find as well, as Joe speaks about this a lot, is when we play rugby, it's quite like a drinking culture.
Yeah.
Everyone knows Joe doesn't drink.
Yeah.
So when he's at the club, no one's like, why aren't you drinking? Why isn't this? Because they know Joe's story. And when Joe's
Yeah.
not drinking, they're like, cool, mate, like,
Yeah.
still join us. Like,
Yeah.
And it's very different. And you say, just from your point of view, sorry, I told your story, but you're so much happier with that because you don't have to explain to every single person now, oh yeah, I'm not feeling like drinking tonight or trying to push it off. They just know Joe doesn't drink for the mental health side of things.
Yeah.
It makes you feel better. And you absolutely love it now. It's your favourite place.
I love that they respect that. I recently met someone, a new friend, and he doesn't drink at all. And he often gets told by people, when he's out in clubs, but he won't drink. He just goes for the experience. People will call him boring and people will just question him and, interrogate him. Why don't you drink? But it's not any of their business. But you don't have to drink to have fun. You really don't. Like since being 18, I have drank a bit, but it's
No
not
problem with it at all.
it's not really. I don't drink a lot either. It's just because of you know, being able to do it now. But it's just nobody needs to know that part of you. But I love that they respect
Yeah,
that.
I think it's just being open, and I think a lot of people do just respect you for it. That's what I found with my friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I'm like in one of my moods or whatever, when we're out, they're like, just leave him, like give him 10 minutes. They're
Yeah.
not like, what's wrong with you? Like, what's going on? Like they used to do. Like my best mates who will probably watch this will be like, yeah. Like when we were out the other night, I was really struggling. I wasn't feeling the best. Something just came over me.
Yeah,
And he was like,
sometimes,
mate,
yeah.
head outside, you're cool. And that was it. And that's from me being open and speaking with them and kind of putting myself in the firing line, thinking that it was going to go wrong. And at the end of the day, my 4 best mates were just like, mate, massive respect to you, like,
Yeah.
fair play.
Yeah.
That comes to me sometimes. For me, there's a very select few where I could go out, and it happens to me too. Something just switches, and I'm like, I don't want to be here anymore.
You zone out, don't you?
Yeah,
Like that
I
time
zone
with
out.
you
I get
in
that.
Florida.
Yeah,
Was
all
it
the time.
Avatar?
Yeah,
Your social battery just
We-
switches off.
We had a bit of a
Exactly.
falling out in Florida in February, so we were queuing for Avatar. What was it, 3 hours?
with kids screaming,
Kids
people
screaming.
shouting.
She had
Very over.
Not my
The face.
forte.
Yeah.
So I was like, "What's the matter with you?" You know, trying to get out of it.
Yeah.
And she just
switched off.
switched off.
I
and
wouldn't
went-
speak.
And I didn't get that she'd zoned out. I didn't
Yeah.
get that the kids were annoying her and everything. So we had a bit of a falling out, didn't we?
Yeah.
But that was another learning curve for me.
Yeah.
So I now know about these zone outs. So
But yeah,
yeah,
So interesting.
there's a very select few that I could go out with, switch, and still be comfortable to be with. Like, I love all my friends, but that's just sort of how it is. I've had trust issues for quite a while now. I mean, I had it a lot at the start of college, and it was a whole thing. But
If we were to go to, let's say, Thought Park right now, and
I
you're
wish
all,
I could go to Thought Park right now.
yeah, we're going in a minute. We're all
okay, great.
and we're queuing, and there are
Nemesis.
kids everywhere screaming at you or around you. What do you do in that situation different to when you were then?
I would probably do the same,
You'd
but
say the same.
I'd let whoever's with me know that I'm switching off.
Awesome.
Yeah, she
But-
didn't tell me she was switching off.
I just
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
That's
I can't deal with overlapping noise. So when there's different kids screaming going through my ears is bad enough as it is. But
The rides going round, the music. And
exactly,
everything
everything. I love theme parks, theme park connoisseur. But people screaming over each other, you know, people being
Overwhelming.
inappropriate in queues, people arguing, everything. I'm just sat there like,
else. It's too much.
yeah. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, just get me on the ride and get me away, please.
I don't like crowds myself, so I'm with her there.
Yeah.
I don't like crowds, but I can do theatres and I can do concerts
Yeah,
because
weird.
it's a whole atmosphere.
yeah.
So
Incredible. It's been one of the best chats we've had. I want to end it on this, and this question we ask a lot, and I'll start with you, Nicola.
Okay.
And it's, if you could just give one piece of advice for parents out there whose children are struggling with mental health, what piece of advice would you give to the parents?
Don't bother with your GP. Don't bother with your mental health service. Go straight to Anxend. 100%. Honestly,
not paid to say this, by the way.
no,
This
no,
is,
no. We are happy. The whole family is happier since Anxend. It was a 6-month program. Felt like 2 minutes, but the work that they've done with Madison mostly and with me and Ian,
That's
Unreal.
incredible.
honestly,
yeah. I mean, the difference between dad then and now, because my dad didn't understand a thing. Now
we used to argue all
yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
There was never a nice evening in the house. I didn't want to go home from work. Now,
Because he didn't understand
No,
why
he-
I was behaving the way I was.
yeah, it's just we all understand now. We don't need to most of the time because she is the way she is now.
Mhm.
So
And Madison, for you, if you could give advice for any person out there who's
Yeah.
around your age or younger than you, knowing what you know now and gone through, what would that piece of advice be?
I just think even if you have sort of a hunch, you know, if you start noticing things about you that's affecting you, if you're more sad than you are happy, just please do something about it, because the earlier you do it, the better you are, because in the nicest way possible, you don't want to end up like me and have to have, you know, dragged myself through 4-ish years of just hell, really. I feel like I've been through hell and back before Anxend, and even, well, hopefully not the case, but even if your parents don't understand and aren't supportive, just anyone else to get you help, just do it immediately, because you don't want to get into this place where all you can think about is, you know, what's wrong with me, and that you feel like you're helpless and you isolate yourself, because that's just one thing that gets teenagers and unfortunately goes too far.
Incredible.
Well said.
Nicola
Sorry,
and
filling up
Madison,
there.
That was amazing.
thank you so much for coming on, both of you.
You're welcome.
You're
Be
welcome.
very proud.
Been good chat.
I am.
Thanks.
I am.